Welcome new students in the class of 2024. You are officially Cardinals. I'm Mr. Haig. I'm the high school principal here at GHV, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to our virtual open house and freshman and new student orientation. By this time, things are probably starting to get real for both students and parents. And I think it's important that we all understand that this year is probably going to be a little different as we start the year and deal with COVID-19 and back to school. We know COVID-19 will pose some challenges, but I just want you all to know that we'll meet these head on and we'll do the best we can to deal with things as they're presented to us and keep everyone safe and able to be in school as much as possible. As we look at freshman and new student orientation, I know it's an exciting time, but it can also be an anxious time. And I just want you to know that a great deal has been done to prepare for this year. And I say this to every class that GHV is a special place and our high school really works hard to make everyone feel welcome and safe and an environment that helps each student really reach their fullest potential. Each year at freshman and new student orientation, we talk about the 4 core values here at GHV High School. Our 4 core values are be here, be on time, do right, do your best, and be respectful of others being themselves. And if all students really work hard to achieve these 4 core values, we believe that our school, from a culture and climate standpoint, as well as a functioning standpoint, is one of the best high schools in north central Iowa. I also want everyone to know that we really put a high value on being respectful in our building. And as you enter our high school as a new student or a freshman, it's important to understand that we want you to feel respected and we want you to respect your other students, classmates, staff, as well as our teachers. So keep that in the forefront as we get ready to begin classes here in the next week or so. The next thing I'd like to talk about is our student services department. Our student services department consists of Mrs. Briley, who's our school counselor, as well as Mrs. Mitchell, who's our student advocate. And I just want you to know that each of them takes their jobs very seriously and really want to help you in any way that they can. They are great at their jobs, and I have high respect for them, and they really enjoy their jobs, and they're just really good people who are in the education business to help your child be successful while in high school. They're really, truly in the student business. Mrs. Briley's role as our school counselor, she works primarily in the domains of academic, career, and personal and social areas. She does do some individual and group counseling as well, and she handles all of our scheduling and testing. So you'll see Mrs. Briley function in those arenas quite a bit. Mrs. Mitchell's our student advocate. She also serves as our at-risk coordinator and is our alternative program lead at the high school. She will do academic monitoring and structured study hall in the Success Center. She will also be the lead in our alternative program. She will do some conflict resolution with Mrs. Briley several times. She will also serve doing some first level discipline if I'm unavailable. And she does a great job of advocating for students with teachers and teaching students how to advocate for themselves when they're having difficulties or problems with teachers. She also does the alternative programming as well as some substance abuse prevention education. So her role is all encompassing of student advocate at risk as well as our alternative programming. I just want to take a minute to talk about our comprehensive high school. This is something that we take great pride in, and we have a great high school that provides a lot of opportunities for all students. We have a 9-period day with over 100 course offerings and different programs. And you've probably figured this out as you began to build your schedule for your freshman year or your schedule as a new student coming in. I'm very proud of our staff and very proud of our facilities and extremely pleased with the programming that we're offering your student, being a comprehensive system that allows your student to explore their career and interest areas and become what they really want to become potentially through their 4 years of high school as they look at their plans for after high school. With that having been said, I also like to take the opportunity to thank our parents for the overwhelming support from our community and parents. I'm very grateful that we have a partnership between our parents that allows us to continue to build our programs and give opportunities for our students. A couple of quick things for our students. Obviously, you're going to find out fairly quickly that this isn't junior high anymore, and we have high expectations at GHV High School, and we have high expectations for this class. And I just want you to know that you might be overwhelmed a little bit at the beginning, but that's a common feeling to have. So hang in there. But if you're having difficulties, see Mrs. Briley, see Mrs. Mitchell, reach out to a trusted teacher or adult in school to help you work through some of those transitional issues. Here's the one thing I always tell freshmen and new students. The anxiousness might be high, but you will get it figured out, and we'll be there to support you the entire way. You know, I alluded to a little bit that things are a little bit different because all grades matter, all credits matter. You're building your transcript for 4 years to position yourself for things after high school. And I think a few things that I want to make you aware of right away is attendance is important. You need to be here. That's one of our core values. And the other one is be here on time. And if you do those two things first, a lot of the other things when it comes to your academic and social development will fall into place after that. We do have hard deadlines. So when a teacher tells you something is due at a certain period of time, make sure you heed to that deadline and get things turned in on time. If you do not turn things in on time, there is a late work penalty, and the teachers will explain that to you. One of the things that I always emphasize to our new students and freshmen during this time is just do your best. You know, there's nobody more qualified to do the job of being a high school student than you. Come to school every day with a great positive attitude and work hard to do the best you can. And if you're struggling, your teachers will help you to reach your fullest potential. Just a couple of other announcements for me to close. Protocols for the COVID-19 mitigation steps that we put in place here at the high school will be coming out next week for all students. So be looking for communication from myself as well as other staff members as to many of those things that are going to be in place to keep our students safe during this time. And I just want you to know it's going to be a great year, and I'm excited that you're here at GHV High School. I've heard great things about this class, and looking forward to meeting you in person as the year unfolds. If you have any issues or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the webpage, and I do have a webpage that gives you my email address and contact information. So with that, I want to thank you, look forward to seeing you, and let me know if you have concerns or questions.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Briley, and I am going to do my best to try to combine all the information that we were going to give you guys in March and then again this fall for starting high school at GHV. So there will be a lot of information in here, but I want to make sure that you have what you need, hopefully everything you need to feel comfortable and ready to go when school starts on August 24th. So I'm going to start with my role as a school counselor. I'm here at GHV High School. This is my 17th year and my 22nd year as a school counselor. So in those 22 years, I have seen a lot of things. Never seen anything like this before, but just know that we are flexible and I'm ready to help you with whatever is going on in school. Maybe can help with some things at home. I just want you to know that I'm here for you and want to be able to help you. One of the things that I do as a school counselor, I do every single schedule. So when I am doing your schedules, sometimes there are conflicts and you might have to make a change. So if you have a schedule concern, I am the person you will come to see to talk about that. And I will help you walk through if there's a conflict or if you want to make a change. I can help you with that. And On your tour, when you come to the school on Wednesday to look around, make sure you check out where my office is. I may or may not be in my office on that Wednesday. We are having in-services. So if I'm in here, you can stop in and say hi. If I'm not, look above the doors. Every door in the high school has the teacher's name and the room number. So that will help you find your classes and just find your way around the high school a little bit better. I also am the testing coordinator for the high school. So you really don't have to worry much about that. Just know that when you guys have to do ISASP testing, if you do the pre-ACT as a 10th grader, the PSAT as an 11th grader, or ASVAB as an 11th grader, or if you're interested in taking the ACT, I'm the person that helps coordinate some of those things, and you can always come and ask me questions about those tests. I also help with your career search. Now, career search also, if you are interested in a career that requires college, I will help you with that college search. So both of those things are tied together. In the high school, we use MAP, and those of you who were in 8th grade last year with Mr. Newton, you used MAP. So you know how that works. We will continue to use that this year. It helps you determine your interests, your abilities, things you value. It helps you make some decisions that way. And it also helps us use that to make sure you're taking classes that are right for you, maybe to help you narrow down your interests a little bit. I also want to let you know I do offer individual counseling and do some small group counseling as well. So if you are interested in that, I do that. We also have other counseling available here at the high school. We have Ashley East. She comes in once a week and she will meet with students. We also have Hancock County will come in. They have a counselor. And also Turning Leaf. Holly Reuter is our counselor that comes in and meets with students. Some of you may already be using some of those services. For those of you who are not, reach out to me and let me know if you are interested in any of those services. Students also, if you are interested, you can come and talk to me and I can help you connect with the right person. Sometimes you might want to talk to me, sometimes you might want to talk to someone else, and that's fine. Now I'm going to start going over some of the stuff that was in the packet that you also got as an attachment for this. So if you haven't opened that attachment, you can do that now if you've printed it off. Mine is printed off, so I will be showing you what we will be looking at. The first thing I want you to look at is sample schedule. So that is on page 2. On page 2 is a sample schedule. And these are our times that we have classes at the high school. These are regular Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday classes. And you can see what time the class starts and what time it ends. We are still keeping a 3-minute passing time between classes, and that is plenty of time to get what you need. Go to your locker. If you need to use the restroom, go to your class first and let your teacher know that that's where you're going to be so you're not counted tardy. We have odd days and even days, and that is to basically, the only thing you need for those is PE. Is your PE on an odd day or is your PE on an even? And then you will have study hall opposite of your PE. All incoming 9th graders will have math, integrated science, English 9, a health 1 semester, and a PE both semesters. So make sure all of those things are on your schedule if you are a freshman. If you are a new student, you need to make sure you register with me, and I will make sure you get into all of the appropriate classes depending on what you took at your last school and what grade you're in. We have 8 elective areas to choose from at the high school. They are Spanish, industrial tech, art classes, family and consumer science classes, computer classes, business classes, agriculture classes, and then we have band and vocal as well. Now, all students are required to take a minimum of 7 classes plus PE. We are on a 9-period day, so that means you will have 7 classes plus PE, and then you would also have a daily study hall. And days you don't have PE, that means then you have 2 study halls on that day. If any student has an IEP, they may have a different set of requirements. So just to let you know, if you have an IEP or your student does, their requirements may look a little bit different. All right, to graduate from GHV, you need the following: 3 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, all 4 years of English, 1 semester of health, all 4 years of PE, 1 semester of financial literacy, and you will need 14 elective credits. That will get the minimum for graduation at GHV. Many students have way over the minimum because we have seven classes that you're taking a day. Okay? Now I want you, a couple other things I want to make sure you know. Any changes that I make on the JMC system, JMC is the system we use to do your scheduling and your grading and all of that. Any changes that I make instantly show up on your end when you log into your student JMC. Okay, so I am still trying to tweak the schedule, make it good, make it better, balance out some classes, try to get more of the stuff you want in there. It's always a challenge to do that. So I'm constantly working up to try to find that best schedule I can. So knowing that, please make sure you log into JMC the night before school starts on Sunday night, because any changes that I have made will be there. And so you know what classes to go. I've had students in the past say, well, I printed my schedule already and the teacher's saying I'm in the wrong class. Well, it's because I've changed something to make something else fit better maybe. So make sure you do that Sunday night. You can screenshot it on your phone, anything like that, or you print it off, however you would like. Just make sure you check that to make sure you have the most up-to-date schedule. To find it, you log on to your JMC, your student access, and go to schedules on the left-hand side of the app or the computer. Okay. What else? If you do not have JMC, new students, if you do not have JMC set up, students and parents, make sure that you are contacting the high school office, either Jan Beer or Beth Haw, and they will get you all set up. They will give you a username. You choose your username and password, but then you can access all of that stuff right away too. Okay? One thing I get, the schedule is very tight this year. We've had some restrictions on it, so I want you to know that we can make some changes on your schedule. Absolutely, if there is a conflict and you need to make a decision between classes or choose, or you don't have enough and you need another class, absolutely, those I will absolutely change. But if all of a sudden you want to try to have your classes with all of your friends, that doesn't work with the schedules we do. So I won't be making those types of arrangements for you. I have put in many hours to try to make a master schedule work for 300 students, and I can't make sure everyone's with all of their friends. So there can be changes, but they need to be needed changes, not just wants, okay? The last day to add or drop a class at the high school is Thursday, the 27th. That gives you 4 days to go through your schedule, really maybe decide if that one is the right one for you, especially in the math classes. Sometimes the Spanish class, it might be a little more difficult than you had expected. That's usually what we see. Let me know, and you have until Thursday to come to me and see if there's anything that you can change or fix on your schedule. Okay, now we are going to go to page 4. And I'm just going to go over this very quickly. These are the math classes at GHV. Okay, we require 3 years of math at GHV, but I always recommend doing 4 years of math, no matter if you've met your graduation requirements or not. The reason is, especially if you are going on to college after high school graduation, if you only finish through 3 years of math, that means you won't have any math your summer before your senior year, your whole senior year, and the summer before you go to college. That is over a year and a half of no math. And then you might be put in a college math class that you haven't had an opportunity, you haven't had any of those skills worked on for a year and a half. We want to make sure that you are doing what you can do to be the most successful you can, not only here at high school, but after high school, whatever that is. If it's college, if it's training of some sort, or going right to work, we want to help you with whatever that step is. Math is a big piece because it is a class that really builds on itself, and we want to make sure that you are ready for that next step. It lists in there our options and our usual order of classes on page 4 of this packet that we have sent to you. Okay, on page 5, you will see our foreign language. I'm going to briefly go over this as well. Foreign language is not required to graduate from GHV. It's not a requirement. But if you are wanting to go to a college, it may be a requirement to get into that college. So it's really important you know, especially by your junior year, what college or what you're going to do after high school. So if you haven't taken Spanish, you can still get it in. We recommend, if you are thinking about college, that you get 2 years of Spanish done, usually your freshman and sophomore year, and then it opens up your schedule a little bit more your junior and senior year, when there are more classes for you, more elective classes for you to be able to take. Okay? You and I just want to go over our 3 state regent universities, their requirements. You and I, you will need 1 year of foreign language to graduate from UNI. So you do not have to have Spanish to get into UNI, but to graduate, you have to have at least 1 year of college done, or 2 years of high school with a C+ or above. University of Iowa, you need 2 years before they will admit you to Iowa. Now, you could do 2 years and get admitted. If you do that, then you have two more years to take at the university. Most majors at the University of Iowa require a total of 4 years to graduate from the University of Iowa. Not all majors, but the majority of them. Okay? Iowa State University is different. All 3 state universities are different, of course. But if you're going into a liberal arts and science major, you need 2 years to be able to get into that college at Iowa State. If you are going to the College of Human Sciences, no foreign language is required. And also, if you are going into ag, no foreign language is required to get into the College of Agriculture at Iowa State. For the College of Engineering, you need 2 years to be admitted. Okay, and then that's the only foreign language requirements you have at Iowa State, unless, of course, you're going to major in a foreign language, then you would have more foreign language requirements. I hope that kind of explains it. If you ever have questions, give me a call. We can make an appointment. We can look at the websites. We can figure it out. All right, now I want you to turn to page 6. This is your 4-year planner that if you're a freshman, if you're coming in, I was going to do this. I was actually going to be, we missed it by a week. I was going to be in your social studies classes that first week of lockdown that we didn't get to have. So I will be coming in to your English class, most likely, English or science, because those are required by all freshmen, to go over this and do your 4-year planner the proper way. When you did your registration, you just registered for your freshman year. Traditionally, we need to have all 4 years, your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior filled out every single year and signed off by a parent. With COVID, obviously, that was not a viable option for us this last school year, so we're gonna do it this year. But it's really nice to have all 4 years. You might be thinking, at least now, usually when I go into the 8th graders, they're like, why do I need to worry about what I'm taking my senior year? But once school starts, you realize, as a freshman, you realize, oh, it really does help plan to look and see what prerequisites do I need to take? What classes do I have to take before I can take college bio? So this really helps you get all the classes in order and make sure you get what you need and what you want while you're here at GHV. All right. The next thing, go over briefly, page 7. These are our graduation requirements for GHV. So you will see we need 8 credits of English, 4 years of English. You will take in English all 4 years of high school. Math, minimum required 3. Remember, I kind of recommend 4, but you only have to do 3 for graduation. Science, only 3 years are required. Integrated science is required as a freshman, biology is required as a sophomore, and you will take either an intro to chemistry or a conceptual chemistry when you are a junior. And then I would say probably 65 to 75% of our seniors take science classes, even though they've already met all the requirements. They're really great classes, and they are also good college prep classes. Social studies, only 3 years are required for graduation. Now, freshmen, you do not take a social studies. I get that question a lot. Why don't I have a social studies in my schedule? Freshmen don't have it. You actually don't have a lot of room for it because we want you to take some of those other electives too. But sophomore year, you get to choose 2 different social studies classes that you want to take. Junior year, you are required to take American history for the full year. And your senior year, you have required 1 semester of econ and 1 semester of American government. And then we have several other social studies classes that you can choose from if you really like social studies. Physical education, your PE, 4 years are required. Health, all freshmen need to take a health. So if you are a freshman, it is in your schedule. If you are a new student to GHV and you are not a freshman and you haven't done health, you will be joining a health class, one of the semesters. It's only 1 semester. Financial literacy is a new state requirement that is required for graduation, and we take that as a junior or a senior, and it's only 1 semester. And then electives, that leaves 14 elective classes that you can take for a grand total of 46 credits for graduation. Okay? Now, I have some just general information about those first few days of school, maybe the first couple of weeks of school, to try to help you feel a little bit more comfortable and where do I go to do certain things, okay? First thing, schedule changes me until that Thursday. Okay, no one else can change your schedule but me. So make sure you find room 13 when you are doing your tour. That is my office. If you are absent, parents, if your student is absent, please make sure to contact the principal's office either by email or telephone before 8:15 if possible, so that first period class knows that the student is not going to be attending class first period. Or if they have an appointment and they're going to be returning late, make sure you say about what time they will be returning. Makeup work. Get this question. What's the policy for makeup work? So the policy is you have the number of days you missed plus 1 day. So if I missed 2 days because I was out of town for a family thing, family emergency, I have those 2 days plus one. I have 3 days total to make up all the work that was done while I was gone. Okay? Your teachers will help you keep track of that. They're not going to be hounding you to make sure you get your work in, but you need to ask them, what did I miss? And they will let you know. Okay? Another thing, JMC is our homework and our attendance and our grading. It's our everything here at the school. So make sure that you can see your homework. You'll have Google Classroom. Google Classroom this year is going to be connected with JMC. So I'm not quite sure how that will look, but I know between the two, parents and students will be able to see what is due, when it was assigned, all of those things. Your teachers will show you these first couple of weeks how that looks and how it works, so you're comfortable with it. We don't know if we're going to end up doing a different version of school at some point this year. So your teachers are going to make sure you know how to do all of those things, okay? Parents, make sure you can access your students' grades too. You can set alerts if their percentage in a class drops below a certain level that you get to choose. So make sure you have a username and password in JMC. If you don't, contact the high school office. Beth or Jan can help you get that set up. If you know you're going to be gone in advance, let's say you know you have a scheduled doctor's appointment or dentist appointment, and you're going to be missing first period one day, let your teachers know in advance. Let the office know in advance that you're going to be gone. It makes everything go just a lot smoother, and if the teacher has the materials and is okay with you doing it ahead of time, you absolutely can do that. Tardy passes. Okay, tardy passes. If you are going to be late to a class, you have to use a pass, and it is a yellow pass system. It's just a written pass. The teacher that held you late or was the reason why you didn't get to class on time, they are the only one that can give you that pass that you don't get counted tardy to your next class. Okay? You can't come to me and say, hey, I'm going to be late to class. Can I have a pass? I can't do that. I'm not, unless I was the one that made you late. I grabbed you out of the hall and said, hey, I need you for a second. The office won't do it. So make sure that if the bell had already rang or you think you're not going to make it to class on time, have that teacher write you a pass to your next class. They all know the drill. They know how the pass system works. They'll help you with it. Don't be afraid to ask them for a pass, and make sure you get that, okay? Another thing, lockers. Keep them clean. Keep them clean. Everyone has their own locker here at the high school, and they're a decent size. So make sure you keep it clean. Don't collect food. Don't collect coffee from Java before school, and just keep all of the empties or half empties in your locker. It will start to stink, and you'll get gnats, and it will be gross, and we don't want that. So we're trying to keep everything as clean as we possibly can, and that includes keeping the food and everything at a minimum, and just make sure your locker is clean and picked up, okay? And then also, if you have not registered yet, new students, incoming freshmen, if you haven't done that, do so. The new students, please, and parents, please get in contact with the office. They have information for you that will help set you up on JMC, the paperwork and all of that. Parents who've already registered, great. You can also register online through our website. So those are all things that need to be taken care of before school starts, especially new students, because I don't have a schedule for you. If you haven't come in to see me or register, I don't have a schedule. You'll have 0 classes, and the first couple of days of school, there's always a line to see me. So I want to make sure you have a schedule ready to go, so when you come in on Wednesday, you can walk where your classes are and see where things are, okay? Just a couple of last things. I'm almost finished. Come by the high school on Wednesday. We are going to be open from 9 to 6. Our previous email gave you some directions on what to do. Use the north door. If you can't socially distance, have a mask on. There's hand sanitizer. Please put that on. All of those things. But we really want you to find your locker, practice that lock, and you can put any school supplies you have in there. Might as well. And then walk around, find your classes. Like I said, your schedule will have the room number, the teacher name, what hallway it's in most likely, and then when you walk around, all the room, the doors have nameplates above them that will have that information as well. Once you do that, on Wednesday from 9 to 6, you're finished. Head on out. We're trying to keep as few people as we can in the building so it just doesn't get so congested when it doesn't have to. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can call me. You can call Mr. Haig. I know he has a video too. If you want to talk to Mrs. Mitchell after you watch her video, you can do that. Mr. Graham, our athletic director, you can contact him. The documents that were sent with this video will have our contact information with it, so that should be helpful. And I just want to make sure everyone feels good and ready, and want to welcome you all to GHV. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jill Mitchell, the student advocate here at the high school, and the student advocate is here to make sure that your student gets all the support that they need to be successful at high school. I oversee 504 plans, so if your student has a 504 plan, I make sure that they get all of the accommodations and modifications to their instruction, test taking, or physical environment that goes along with their plan. But the main way that I help students at the high school is by scheduling them into my room, which is called the Success Center. It's located right across from the boys' restroom in the connecting hallway, in the center hallway. It's just a little more structured study hall. I monitor missing assignments for those that are in this study hall. I keep track of the current assignments on the board. So if a student doesn't think they have anything to do, they may need a reminder that this is due or that is due. And I also am available to reteach any concepts if kids are struggling. So those are all pretty important. There's a few different ways that you can get into the Success Center. If you were with Mrs. Heitland last year, you're more than likely recommended to at least start the year with me. People spend various amounts of time in here. Some students might be in here for every day for a study hall. Some might be every other day. Some might be all of their study halls. And just because you start in here doesn't mean that you need to stay. That's one way that you get in here, is if you're with Mrs. Heitland. If a teacher recommends that you might need a little boost, they might recommend that, or a parent could also ask for some help. So those are the ways that you can get help in the Success Center. Transitioning to high school is a huge deal. So I help students with transitioning to high school. There's more homework in high school, more responsibility, more activities, and some kids just need a little help with organization, time management. I'm also a professional school counselor, so I can help with some of the social, emotional, and behavior needs. So if you are a parent that feels like your student is struggling partway through the year, or if you're concerned about the beginning of the year, just let me know, or Mrs. Briley or Mr. Haig know. Any of us can help out with that. So have a great year. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2024 students and parents. My name is Matt Graham. I'm the high school athletic director as well as a high school business teacher. My first message for you is about involvement. Involvement for our kids at the high school level is key to their success. Studies have shown that the more kids are involved, the better grades they're going to have, the higher self-esteem they're going to have, and the more well-rounded upon high school graduation they're going to be. So we'd like to have our parents encourage our kids to get out there, be involved in as many things as possible. GHV offers many activities, both in the athletic area as well as fine arts, so there's plenty of things to choose from. Be involved, kids. It's going to be a great thing for your high school career to get out there and meet as many people as you can, and just be involved in as many different activities as you can. If your student is out for a sport, you need to make sure that you have a current physical on file with me. I did send out an email earlier this year stating that physicals are good and through December 31st by the state guidance. I just want to remind you, though, that if that guidance would go away, we need to make sure we have a current one on file. So make sure your kid has been in to see a doctor or soon going to see a doctor so that that can be taken care of. We don't want to have the kid to sit out a practice because we don't have a current physical on file. Attendance policy for the high school has changed over the last couple of years. School attendance is important for our students to be successful, so we want to make sure that our kids are here as much of the day as possible. So if that kid sleeps in, has a headache and doesn't come first thing in the morning, they may not be able to play in a game or practice that afternoon. Our new policy states that a kid needs to be here by the end of first period in order to practice or play in a game. So on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, kids need to be in school by 9:07. On Wednesdays, kids need to be in school by 9 a.m. We went to this policy because too many kids are sleeping in or had a headache and just staying home, so we wanted to shore up that policy, get kids here as many periods of the day as possible, and just give them a better opportunity to have an educational setting in the classroom. As always, there's extenuating circumstances to this policy, so if you talk to Mr. Haig or myself ahead of time, we could probably work something out. Please don't come to us after the fact and asking or telling us that your kid had an appointment. The communication needs to take place ahead of time, and we'll be able to work with you a lot more than if you come to us after the fact stating they had an appointment. So kids need to be here by the end of first period in order to practice or play in a contest that night. Just make sure that we're here as much as we can be. While talking about holding accountable, please be familiar with the no pass, no play policy. That policy states that kids need to be passing all of their classes at the end of the grading period. For us, the grading period that we use is the semester grading period, not the quarter grading period. So in January, they need to make sure the report card has all grades that are higher than an F. If that is true, then they can play in the sports. If they have an F on the report card, they're going to have to sit out for the next 30 days of the sport they're involved in, whether that be basketball. They'd have to sit out the next 30 days of basketball at that current time. If they're not in basketball or wrestling and need to wait, are going to go out for soccer, then they'd have to sit out the first 30 days of soccer. So it's important also for our kids to be passing all of their classes. This is a state mandated guideline that we have to follow. GHV also has our own good conduct policy that applies to all student athletes. We have a good conduct policy in place, hoping that we can help our students make good choices and kind of deter them from making the bad choices. The complete good conduct policy can be found on the GHV webpage under the registration materials. Just to kind of go over it briefly, if your child does get caught with alcohol, tobacco, vaping, drug, criminal offense, or anything else that falls into the illegal activities, we would meet with your child, we would meet with you, and we'd kind of go through the entire policy with you. So just kind of in a nutshell, if they get caught with anything that's illegal and activity-wise, they're going to have to sit out 40% of their next season. It could buy down to 20% through some other stipulations also. Again, if something does happen, Mr. Haig and myself would work with you and explain it completely to you and your child. I know this is a nervous and exciting time for the class of 2024 students and parents. If you have any questions, email me, mgraham@ghvschools.org. And again, please encourage your student to get out there, be involved in as many things as possible, and just let their high school experience be one that they can remember.